Imagine three young girls, different ages, different dreams, vanishing one after another from the same city. A teenager walking home from work the night before her birthday, a 14-year-old leaving school, a young mother rushing to court to fight for her son. All gone without a trace. Their families searched, their faces appeared on posters, their names were whispered at candlelight vigils. Years passed. Hope began to die. The world believed they were lost forever. But the truth was far more terrifying. They were alive, held captive together, hidden in plain sight, while the city went about its life unaware of the nightmare unfolding behind locked doors. It began with Michelle Knight. August 23, 2002. She was only 21, barely over 5 feet tall, determined but beaten down by life. That morning she set out to fight for her son in a custody hearing. She never made it. Michelle had known Ariel Castro through his daughter. So when he pulled up and offered her a ride, she climbed in. She thought she'd be dropped at the courthouse. Instead, she stepped into hell. Castro's house smelled of damp and dust. When the door slammed behind her, Michelle knew something was wrong. He led her upstairs. Chains rattled. Locks clicked. Michelle begged. She screamed. But the walls swallowed her voice. That day, Michelle disappeared. And outside, hardly anyone noticed. She was poor, already struggling, an adult. The police didn't push hard. The news barely covered it. In silence, Castro grew bolder. 8 months later, April 21, 2003. Amanda Berry left her job at Burger King, excited about her 17th birthday the next day. She walked down the street, phone in hand, smiling at plans she would never keep. Then Castro pulled up. Amanda knew him. He was her friend's dad. That trust, that familiarity, was all it took. He offered her a ride. She got in. Within minutes she was trapped in the same nightmare as Michelle. Amanda's mother never gave up. She went on TV, pleading, begging for her daughter to come home. She lit candles. She organized searches. But as years passed, hope dimmed. Amanda's mother died before ever seeing her daughter again. She went to her grave still waiting for Amanda to walk through the door. 1 year later, April 2004. 14-year-old Gina DeJesus was walking home from school with Arlene, Castro's own daughter. Gina asked her mom if she could sleep over. Her mother said no. Arlene went home. Gina walked alone. Castro offered her a ride. He was her friend's dad. She trusted him. He drove her to Seymour Avenue. Another lock turned. Another family broken. Now 3 girls were hidden in that house. Families cried into cameras. Flyers were stapled to poles. Candlelight vigils filled the streets. Neighbors shook their heads, praying, asking, where did they go? No one knew the answer was right there, behind the closed blinds of a house they passed every day. Castro even joined those conversations, pretending to care, pretending to grieve, while holding the girls captive just feet away. Inside, the girls lived chained like animals. Windows boarded. Rooms sealed. They were starved, beaten, and violated. But they clung to each other. Michelle, the eldest, became their protector. She told Amanda and Gina stories to keep them alive, to remind them they were still human. Amanda gave birth to a daughter in that house. She was forced to deliver. On a plastic kiddie pool. The baby didn't breathe at first. Castro shouted that if the baby died, they all would. Michelle, though exhausted and broken herself, saved the baby with CPR. When that newborn's cry filled the room, it was the sound of defiance, the sound that life had not been stolen completely. The years crawled by. They marked time by television. They watched Barack Obama elected president. They watched Hurricane Katrina drown a city. They saw stories of other kidnapped women found alive, like J.C. Dugard. Each news report was a knife of pain and a flicker of hope. Maybe one day, someone would find them too. But the days inside were cruel. Sometimes Castro left them in darkness for hours. Sometimes he fed them scraps. Sometimes he played loud music to drown their cries. Yet they whispered to each other in the night, reminding themselves that survival was still possible. Then came May 6, 2013. Amanda noticed something different. Castro had left the storm door unlocked. Her heart raced. She pushed. It didn't open all the way. She screamed, "Help me! I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped." Her voice cracked through 11 years of silence. Neighbors heard. Charles Ramsey, a man from down the street, rushed over. He kicked at the door until the bottom panel broke. Amanda crawled out, clutching her 6-year-old daughter. Her hands shook as she grabbed a phone and dialed 911. "I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped. I have been missing for 10 years. I'm here, I'm free." Police stormed the house. Michelle and Gina were freed. 3 women, stolen for over a decade, emerged alive. Tears, disbelief, trembling voices, freedom at last. Ariel Castro was arrested that night. In court, he tried to excuse himself, saying he was not a monster, that he was sick. But the truth was clear. He was charged with nearly 1,000 crimes. The judge sentenced him to life in prison plus 1,000 years. 1 month later, he killed himself in his cell. The house on Seymour Avenue was demolished. Michelle released yellow balloons into the sky as the walls fell. Neighbors cheered, cried, and prayed. Where once there had been darkness, there was now only open air. The women live today with scars, but they are survivors. Michelle told her story in Finding Me. Amanda and Gina wrote hope. They became voices for the missing, living proof that even when the world forgets, life can still be reclaimed. This story is not just about one man's evil. It is about how easily monsters can hide in plain sight, behind the mask of a neighbor, behind the doors of an ordinary house. It is also about the power of hope. Michelle, Amanda, and Gina endured what no one should, but they held on. They came out not broken, but unbroken. If you are hearing this, let their story mean something. Pay attention when people go missing. Don't dismiss the signs. Support families who are searching. Speak up when something feels wrong. Because silence is the cage where monsters thrive. And remembering is the key that keeps hope alive. If this story struck you, make sure to like this video, share it so others never forget, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real stories that must be told.